Hi, and welcome to the 6.5 Guys. I'm Ed Mobley.
And I'm Steve Lawrence. As many of you guys know, a precision rifle requires a good muzzle device, namely a brake. Now, a while back, some friends of ours, Andy Dudsworth and Harley Green, we met with them at a match, and they work with Insite Arms, or they are Insite Arms, and have provided us with some evaluation brakes to test out. Now, I've been running one on my 6XC for over a year. In this case, we have one here on your
308. I'm at 308, and I ran a 6.5 millimeter brake for a good part of the year.
Yeah, and so far we love them.
Yeah, and it's I mean there are a lot of thoughtful details in the design. Now, as far as just the overall design of the brake and just some of the interesting nuances of muzzle brake design, they actually shared some interesting articles and publications, which we're going to put up on our website, because I think it's just some interesting reading and background how some of the current designs have actually evolved. Namely, you know, the gill design that we see in a lot of brakes, and sort of the strategy of slanting them back a bit.
Yeah. Now, you know, it's not just sort of an aesthetic thing. There's a lot of science and, you know, physics and those types of principles and engineering that goes into the design of an effective muzzle brake. And in this case, all of that has been applied in the Insite Arms Heathen brake, which is what we have here.
And, you know, while we don't have a scientific way to compare one muzzle brake against another, I would say that the recoil abatement of this brake is comparable with all the other brakes that
like,
we've
for example,
tried.
we've been using on some of our rifles the APA Fat Bastard or Little Bastard.
I mean, great brakes, and so this appears to be very comparable. Now, what I like about it, just from a design or usability standpoint, is you want to clock the brake so that the ports are level while the rifle's level.
Which you've leveled the rifle with your anti-cant device, and
Correct.
Of course this is not part of the brake. That's actually a bubble level.
And so they have a nice little flat spot milled here. And if you wanted to, you can have the flat spot up, or you could have the flat spot down if you want the little Insite Arms logo up. But for me, it's just easier to have the flat spot up. And so what you can do is you can level it out, and then you just turn this finger tight, this knurled knob finger tight. And at first, I didn't believe that it would remain tight, because a lot of other designs have like wrench flats.
Yeah, and that's been our experiences with the other brake designs that have the wrench flats. You really have to torque that wrench down pretty tight so it locks the clocking, so it doesn't move.
Right. And then, you know, if you just wanted to snug it up, or just, you know, prophylactically, you know, make sure it's not going to come loose, you have to carry a wrench with you. But, you know, what I like about this knurled design is you can just, you know, every now and then just kind of check it out, and you're good to go. But I think what it also indicates is maybe you really don't need that much torque in the first place, because, you know, some people, you know, have indicated that if you maybe really over torque a muzzle brake that has the flats, you could potentially damage the threads or damage the barrel. I don't know whether that's real or not, but I'm sure with anything, if you just went, you know,
over aggressively.
If you went hog wild, you potentially could damage it. But I mean, you're certainly not going to damage anything by, you know, just using
your fingers.
By just using your fingers.
Yeah.
And so the fact that this is so easy to index, I mean, I used to dread the act of timing my muzzle brake after cleaning, but now,
it's easy as pie.
Yeah, it's easy.
Now, a couple of observations, having run this brake for over a year, and also in comparing it to some of the other brakes that I've used, like the Badger thruster and the brakes from APA, is one, recoil abatement's pretty much the same. What I like about it, which is unique to this design, is the way they've milled the gills back. A lot of the blast doesn't come down and it doesn't kick up as much dirt, or if you're
Right.
shooting off a bench, it's not going to blow stuff off the bench like your papers or whatnot.
Yes.
So that's really nice. And two is, again, the knurled knob for locking the timing is very easy. You don't have to have a wrench with you, and I feel very confident that once it's set, it's not going to move very easily.
Now, if you're the shooter next to you on either side, you probably don't think much about the the slant back gills, because I mean that can actually be pretty startling. But even behind the rifles, I mean, I've talked to some top shooters that are actually taking a little more recoil and going with a more traditional design because they just don't like the concussion. But again, that's just a personal preference. But Insite Arms clearly makes a very nice brake. But what they also told me is they're actually coming out with a line of aluminum brakes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and the driver for that is some folks are like, well, I want to be able to shoot with and without a brake, and I don't want the brake to alter my barrel harmonics. I'm not going to get into that debate, but some folks feel that a lighter brake would be less likely to alter the barrel harmonics. So to satisfy that demographic, they're coming out with an aluminum brake, and it's hardened in such a way where it's not going to get all eroded
and pitted and stuff,
and pitted. And then I guess if you really wanted a super ultralight rifle and every ounce counts,
there you go. Yeah,
if you could save an ounce with an aluminum brake, so definitely. Go to the Insite Arms website. As of the filming of this video, they don't have anything up yet, but they are coming out.
Very interesting. Well, good. Guys, definitely check out Insite Arms. We've been very happy with these test and evaluation muzzle brakes that we've been running. I don't feel a need to actually look anywhere else, so I'll probably continue to keep the brake that I have on that rifle.
Yeah, and what's nice is the owners of the company. I mean, it's a Canadian company, but they come down here.
Oh, they're shooters
and shoot matches here in the Pacific Northwest. So it's nice to see that the owners of the company, they're using their product. They're constantly obtaining feedback. So I think that also helps them create a better product.
Yeah, continuing to improve the design.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we hope you found that useful. Until next time, remember, life's an adventure.
Stay on target.